Yours. Are you in the video? Drinking coffee? Coffee?
Look how white I am.
You're scary girl. You look at the bunny.
Stop.
You look at the bunny.
Stop. I don't. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today is going to be a full face first impressions. I went to Sephora and picked up a couple of things that I thought I'd share my thoughts on with you guys. A couple of things have been hyped up here on YouTube or on Instagram, so I thought I'd pick them up and try them out for you guys. There's a couple of products in here that I did not like, and they are hyped up a lot, and they're just my thoughts. So it's just makeup. Don't get mad if you like them, but I just thought I'd jump on here and give you guys my first impressions on these products. And this is the look that I came up with it. During the video, I do use an eyeshadow palette that is new and I'm super excited for, but it's not going to be like an in-depth tutorial like my other ones where I'm explaining, picking the color. It's more of me just kind of winging it really quickly to kind of show you if I like the product or I don't. So if you guys are interested in that, then just go ahead and keep watching. I already primed my eyes with MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot, and then I already did my eyebrows because those aren't really first impressions. So now to get into the eyeshadow, which I'm most excited about. This is the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. They just launched this, as well as with a couple of other things which I did pick up. I'm going to be taking is the shade Summer Yum right here, which is kind of like a rusty burnt orange shade, on my Morphe M209 blending brush. And then just I'm going to work this in the crease like usual. Right off the bat, I barely dipped my brush into the eyeshadow, and it's super pigmented, which I love. And you guys, I forgot to mention, it smells like peaches. Now I'm going to take a fluffier brush. This is the Sephora Pro Rounded Crease brush number 27, and I'm just going to be taking the shade Delectable right here, which is the purpley. It does have a little bit of shimmer to it, but not too much, so I'm just going to put this on the outer corners of my eyes to deepen it up. They do have, because like the consistency of them is super smooth and stuff, when I do dip my brush into it, as you guys can see, there is a little bit of kick up. That doesn't bother me, but it could bother some people. So just disclaim on that, it does have kick up when you dip your brush into the actual product, but as I am putting it on my eyes, there is no fallout whatsoever. So far, these shadows, I'm just going to go back with that same Morphe M209 brush with no additional product, just to blend it out, making sure there are no harsh lines. Go into this shade right here called Talk Derby to me. That is so cute. Like, Too Faced has the cutest names. I'm going to go back into that same Sephora Rounded crease brush just to deepen out the outer corner even more. Oh yeah, you see? I feel like it needed a little bit more purple vibes to it. What brush? I'm just going to use my Morphe 224 Packer on the Lid brush. And I'm going to spray it with a little bit of Fix Plus. I always spray my shimmery shades. So I did swatch it on my hand, and you can see it does give off a sheen to it, but I do want it to be a little bit more poppin'. It does give a little bit of kick up to it, which we'll see what happens. So I'm going to just pack this on the area where I didn't apply any shadow. So far, I like the matte shades in this collection better than the shimmery shades in this specific palette, just because they give off so much kick up that when I'm tapping this into my eyes or on my eyes, it's sort of balling up. And it is giving that kind of orangey gold reflex vibe, which I do love. And it is giving quite a bit of fallout, which is expected in shimmery shades, but I've never really had a problem with like Too Faced shimmer shades, so this is kind of disappointing a little bit. You guys need this palette. The eyes came out so good, so go pick this up. It's the Nivea Men Post Sensitive Shave Balm. You guys have seen me talk about this. It smells like a boyfriend I don't have. But I always smell, every time I open it, I smell it. Like, it smells the same every time, but I still smell it every time. So I'm going to rub this into my face. The foundation I picked up is the Hourglass Vanishing Stick Foundation. This has been the hype on Instagram and on Twitter. I saw this, so, and here on YouTube, but I mainly saw it on Instagram. It looks like this. You get quite a bit of product. It is $45. So I am in the shade Porcelain, kind of. You guys will see it. It kind of washes me out more than I already am. So for this one, it is a medium to full coverage. It is buildable. So to start, I'm going to do a couple of, just do 3 stripes on each cheek so far. As you guys can see, it matches my neck. I am super pale all year round. So if you are dry, like super dry, I probably wouldn't recommend this foundation for you. The only reason I'm using it is because I used a hydrating primer and a super hydrating moisturizer about 15 minutes before I started filming, so it's not really going to bother me, and I'm not one who has super dry patches, just because I've started to take care of my skin a lot more. Before, I used to get dry patches, and I wouldn't have been able to have used this foundation at all. So before I continue to scare you guys, I'm gonna start blending this out. This brush is actually a brush that I got in like a set at TJ Maxx. I'm just trying out like different brushes. It is super kind of fluffy, and it is by Bella Cosmetics. And this is their Pro Blend Buffer brush. So hopefully, I have not tried this at all. So let's see how it blends my foundation. So right now, as I am using this brush to blend it out, it's not giving me the coverage that I'm wanting. I don't know if it's this brush. This brush is not that dense. I feel like if you're going to be buffing out a foundation, you want something that's more dense, so I'm not even going to be using this brush. With that brush, it kind of left streaks on my face, so now I'm just going to take this It Cosmetics CC Cream brush and see if I can blend this out. I promise you guys, this foundation matches my skin. I'm gonna have to say that this foundation, this Hourglass foundation, is not my favorite at all. It's not giving me the coverage that I'm wanting. I don't think that this is buildable, because right now my face looks like I put powdered foundation on my skin. And me being that I'm already dry to begin with, this is not something that I would want to reach for in my collection. I do have a couple of acne spots here on my chin, and it is not covering it up whatsoever, and I already feel like my face feels so tight right now. So that one is a no-go for me. I would not recommend that foundation at all. Now I have been trying a new sponge out. This is the Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. I thought I'd try this out because it's kind of a bothersome to me to kind of repurchase the Beauty Blender all the time, because mine tends to break a lot, and I hear when it starts to rip and stuff, you need to throw it out because germs and stuff can get into it, and then you're just pouncing it on your face, and it's not good. So I've been trying out different sponges, and I'm liking this one so far. Obviously not as much as my Beauty Blender, but this one is $5, and at Ulta they come in 2 packs, so it's like $10 or something like that. So I'm going to spray it with a little bit of Fix Plus just because it's not as damp anymore. Using my Anastasia Contour kit using the shade Fawn. You guys know the drill with that. And I'm going to be using my Kat Von D Shade and Light brush just to chisel out my cheekbones. Okay, now, you thought. So this is the Too Faced Sweet Peach Glow Bronze Highlight and Blush Palette. You have the highlight shade, the blush shade, and the bronzer shade. And it smells like peaches. You guys, shook. So I'm going to swatch it. There is no names on the back of them. So I'm going to name this one Peach, and this one Peach, and this one Peach, because It's a peach palette, and there's no names to it, so all the shades are called peach. Highlighting shade. It does have a peachy gold iridescent reflex to it, just like the eyeshadow. So it looks, I don't know if you guys can even see. Let me do it on my hand. That might be better. Here we go. Can you guys see? It's times like this where I feel like I've seen those videos where people make fun of beauty gurus going like this, because of me, it's like I'm trying to get it focused. It's right here. It is a peachy iridescent gold reflex highlight. Super pretty. I don't know how it's going to look on my skin because I am fair. It might show up orange. We'll have to see. The blush shade, that was a tongue twister. It is a peachy reflex. It has peach, pink. It kind of reminds me of NARS Orgasm. Looks like this, super pretty. It's like a pinky champagne. It does have a little bit of shimmer to it. Now for the bronzer. This was kind of like the deal breaker for me. I have heard reviews on this and everybody likes these two, but they don't like the bronzer, so we're gonna have to, oh, it's a little orange. And it has some shimmer to it. Looks like this. So we have the highlight, the blush, and the bronzer. Bronzer is a little orange, but I am going to still use it. So I contoured. Now I'm going to just take this Benefit Hoola bronzer brush, dip into the bronzer, and we're going to see what happens. I'm a little nervous. It looks like I'm applying blush to my face. And I don't know how I feel about that. It looks orange. I mean, I get it. I feel like maybe it should have been a little darker. Because I feel like if you are my skin tone or any darker, you're not going to be able to use this bronzer. It's pretty, but I don't know. And it does kind of give a sheen to, as you can see, when I tilt my face, my skin looks luminous. I'm not mad about that part because I am already dry, but the actual shade is not my cup of tea. And it's not very pigmented, so I have to keep going back into it. To the blush, going to dip into the blush and see how we like it. I love Too Faced blushes, so I am super excited for this. Girl, it is hella pigmented, but to me it almost looks the same color as the bronzer, just hyped up a bit. So I'm kind of looking like a clown. Let's try the highlight. I'm a little nervous because it is a little bit orange. I'm going to use my Morphe M532 brush. For that, I'm just going to spray a little bit of Fix Plus to intensify it. It's pretty, but I don't know if you guys can see. It looks orange. I think if you are a deeper skin toned, you're gonna love this highlighter. But because I am fair, it looks like I got a rainbow on my face going on right now. I feel like this specific palette, besides the blush, doesn't cater to fair skinned. So that's kind of a bummer because I was super excited for this palette. But I mean, I'm still going to use the highlight. Maybe it'll even be pretty as a eyeshadow, like a lid color. But on camera, you guys can see that it looks kind of champagne. But in person, if I tilt my head a certain way, it gives like orange champagne reflexes. So I'm a little scared of how it's going to look in the sunlight. So I'm not really a huge fan of this palette. Like, in all actuality, I'm sure Too Faced has another blush similar to this. I don't really think you need to spend, I think this palette was $42 and then this palette was $52. I would, if you're going to pick one of these palettes from the collection, I would definitely choose the eyeshadow palette versus this palette. If you want to get both, but I think you really only need the eyeshadow palette. There's other highlighting and bronzer palettes out there. This one was a no-go for me, which I'm so sad about because this was what I was most excited for, but it doesn't look like, it looks good. My face, it looks good, but I look very bronzed because of the shade selection in this. That, guys, completes this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope I wasn't too harsh about some of the products on here, but I mean, if you're gonna spend your money, I want you guys to like hear different opinions about it. So I know like some of the reviews, I mean, reviews can only go so far. I feel like it's easier if I see somebody talking about it and like showing you the actual product. That's where I will get like my review from. So I hope you guys like this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy. Comment down below if you liked this style of video, what videos you guys would like to see next. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And I love you, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.